Inspector Holmes here doing a pre-drywall framing inspection and all MEPs. And I haven't looked over this house yet, so this is the first time I've been in the house. So join me as we do this pre-drywall framing MEP inspection. We'll see what we find. And right off the bat, cracked stud. And this is a load-bearing stud here. All penetrations within a stud, whether it's plumbing or electrical, 1.25 inches or less, needs to have a nail plate. And that's the measurements from the stud face to the opening of the hole, not the stud face to the actual pipe or wire. Missing joist hangers at the double LVL structural beam. Again, nail plate needed. Should be over 1.25 inches from the stud face to the opening of the hole. So this stud here is over-notched. Over 40% of the stud is over-notched to allow this plumbing line to go through. Non-load bearing walls or load bearing walls. So code specifies that a sistered stud from top to bottom, bearing point to bearing point, needs to be added, or if they can't do that, in this case they can't, they need to add stud shoes right here and here. Manufacturers of TGIs, which are engineered flooring systems, specify that penetrations through the webbing of the TGI cannot happen within 6 inches of the bearing point. So I'm going to recommend going back to the engineer specifications for penetrations through the webbing of the TGI. All nail holes need to be utilized in all of these hangers, these joist hangers. In this case, there's open nail holes in almost all of these hangers. So above me are trusses, and trusses are put together 2x4s by 2x4s, and they're put together by these metal plates called gusset plates. And this is what ties it all together, and this creates the roof structure. It's important as a home inspector, or any inspector for that matter, to have the truss drawings available on site to review. Each individual truss is placed, they're labeled and numbered, and they correspond with the plan set that they should have on site. And in this case, I found that there is one truss that's missing in this construction, and as a result, they've padded over, or they've increased the span of the truss in order to make up the difference. This is a structural issue, and it should be dealt with promptly. Penetrations through the bottom or top plate within 1.25 inches or less need to have a larger nail plate, not just a standard stud nail plate. And the reason for this is because once the drywall is in place, the flooring is in place, and they put a big 6-inch trim piece there, they're not nailing into the wire. And this is what a larger nail plate should look like. Another area where the stud shoe is needed here, you can see the span of the hole opening for this PVC drain line. You have a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here, so this makes this particular stud over-notched over 40%. So this is an example of a truss label here. These are left in place so that you can verify the name or the number. I don't know if you guys can see that. The number of this truss and verify it against the plan set. Another thing I look at is all wiring that is touching or resting against gusset plates that are on trusses. The gusset plates are very sharp at the top, and just vibrations, shutting doors, HVAC turning on, it creates little vibrations within the framing of the house, and it actually can cut the sheathing of the wire. So that's one thing we're looking at as well. In this case, this wire needs to be moved away from the gusset. After reviewing the plan set, this particular room I'm in is being labeled as a bedroom, and there is a gas furnace and a gas water heater that's going to be within the utility room of this bedroom. Gas appliances are prohibited from being placed in the bedroom because it relies on combustion air within that bedroom in order to function. So you're taking combustion air, which is oxygen, away from that bedroom that you're sleeping in and allowing the flame to function, or allowing the unit to function. So this is a big no-no. They're going to have to relocate these units. It's always funny to see some graffiti that some of the workers put on the inside of the framing. In this case, this is rather benign. Some of it's kind of trashy, but this one's kind of funny. So the structural aspect of a TGI floor joist is the top and the bottom flange. The top and the bottom flange cannot be altered in any way. They can't drill through it, they can't cut it, they can't notch it. They can go through the webbing of the TGI floor joist, but they can't touch the top or the bottom flange. In this case, they've sawzawed into the flange here in order to create this pocket for the tub above. So this right now is a structural member that's been compromised. And because we're doing the MEPs at the same time as we're doing the framing, which is the mechanical, electrical, plumbing side of this pre-drywall inspection, I'm looking at the laundry area, or the new laundry area, and the one thing that's missing is they never cut in or accounted for a dryer vent within this room, and that's part of the mechanical side of the inspection. So without that, I can't see how it exits the house and how the joints are. They have performed a gas line pressure test, which is required. You can see the gauge here. The unfortunate side to this is they tested against this gas manifold, but they've tested with the valves in the off position. You can't run a pressure test against the valves unless the valves are rated such. Anyways, thanks for tagging along with me on this pre-drywall inspection and MEPs. And hope you guys learned something, maybe not, maybe just had fun watching. But again, appreciate you guys joining me, and we'll talk to you soon.